So I'd like to get this video started by saying that this is a project for our NSTP class. We were given a handful of questions that we had to answer regarding our self-awareness. So I'm gonna talk about stuff like the Johari window, which I'll get into later on. But let's go ahead and get started with the first few questions. Okay, so the first set of questions that we have came directly from our professor. This part is going to be made up of 4 questions. The first one being we had to draw something that best describes us, and that ended up settling on a hand. So the reason why I ended up drawing a hand is because I also came up with a phrase that went with it, and it goes, "If you ever feel lost and you don't know what to do, I will take you by the hand and I will guide you." So the reason for that is because oftentimes when friends or family are kind of they're kind of hesitant to do things, or they don't know what to decide, I'll be there, I'll stick with them, I'll wait for them to make their decision, and if I need to, I'll also be the one to kind of guide them in the right direction to make whatever decision that they need to make. So that does it for the first question. Let's go ahead and go on to the second question. Okay, and the second question that we had to answer was, what was the happiest moment that you can't forget? So for me, that's kind of a lot of things, but I'll go ahead and stick with the most important one. Is actually not really a moment and more of a event. So what happened was back in senior high school, grade 12, I went ahead and snuck out of the house to go to a friend's birthday party. And the reason why that's a big deal is because my parents are very strict. They don't really allow me to go outside very often and kind of make my own decisions. So when I finally got to experience what it was like to kind of enjoy myself and be with my friends for a whole night, maybe I think it was 2 days, I think. It was something that was really different, and I really did enjoy that, and that's something that's going to stick with me for quite a long time. So moving on to the next question. Okay, and the last question that we have to answer for this list is, what do you regret the most, and something that you feel like you shouldn't have done? So for me, that would have been sticking in my comfort zone. So for a large part of my life, for a big part of my life, I have been very shy and very awkward in approaching people. I've also been very reluctant to approach them, and that was because I was just kind of scared of what they would think if I approached them and I was somebody who was weird or who was different. But then back in grade 12, I guess that's really my transitioning period, grade 12. That's the point when I realized that it's not so bad. It's not so bad being who you are, being weird in front of other people, as long as you enjoy yourself. And yeah, that really is what matters. You enjoy yourself, and that you're honest to yourself about what you really want and how you really want to be. So yeah, that does it for this part. Moving on to the next part of the video, which discusses the aspects of the Johari window. Okay, and the first part of the Johari window is your open self, which stands for what you know and what others know about you. So this is how you present yourself in front of other people. And so for me, what that is that I really like to have fun. I really like to enjoy my time with other people, and the reason for that is just because people like to be around people who are fun, and I like to be around people who are fun. So I tend to reflect the same behavior that somebody shows me. And the second part is that I do like to connect with people. So that just has to do with the part of me really wanting to have fun with other people as well. It's always good to have and make a lot of friends as well. And the next thing is that I'm also open about what I feel is right. So I'm not afraid of sharing my opinion. I'm telling you, if I feel like you're wrong, I will let you know. At least from my perspective, I'll say I disagree with what you're saying, and this is my opinion. This is why. But your opinion is yours, and I respect that. And another thing is that I am very patient. So this is just something that ended up coming in handy as I work in the customer service career path. So patience is something that you really do need a lot of, and it turns out that having a lot of patience is something that comes naturally to me. I really am willing to wait for as long as I need to for other people. So that's the first part of the Johari window. Moving on to the next part. Okay, and the second part of the Johari window has to do with your blind self, which is the aspect or the side of yourself that only others notice about you and you don't know about yourself. So what I did for this part was I went ahead and just asked a couple of people who were closest to me about what things that they think that I don't know about myself, and I'll go ahead and just show their messages in response to this question. Okay, and the next part of the Johari window has to do with your hidden self, which is essentially you, the way that you behave when you are by yourself or when nobody is around. So this hidden self is only something that you personally know. So for me, my hidden self is that I really like to stock up on knowledge. I really like to watch a lot of videos on YouTube that are very informational, that may have nothing to do with my life, but instead have maybe something to do with aliens or monsters, or maybe somebody else playing a video game or doing something that I've never heard of. So these interesting things are just kind of ways for me to make my mind work while I am still at home by myself, and that really does keep me interested. So that's one thing about my hidden self. And the other thing about my hidden self is that I can tend to be a lot noisier and a lot louder on my own. But I also like to kind of settle down and just take some time to breathe when I'm by myself. So that's what my hidden self is like. Alright, moving on to the next one. Okay, and the last part of this is the unknown self, which describes yourself that has yet to be discovered. So neither you or anybody that you know knows this stuff about you. So for me personally, I can say that there is a lot of things that I don't know about myself. There's a lot of things that maybe I don't know that I like, or maybe that I don't know that I don't like. And of course, those things are all up to me to find out what they are, and just to have as many experiences as possible so that I can know myself better. So your unknown self can also potentially be who you could be, 5, 10 years from now. Somebody that you have yet to discover, essentially. So yeah, that covers all of the topics for the NSTP video project that we have. Hopefully I was able to answer all the questions to the best of my ability, and I also hope that you enjoyed watching this video. Thank you so much. See you.